Hello listeners, this is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
today we're going to be analysing why our defence sucks so bloody damn much. Oh, welcome back everyone. Welcome to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in the virtual room filled with lions. Some of the lions, I've got Ollie, I've got Chris. It's the Thursday show. And of course, the question, what are you guys looking forward to this weekend? What is it?
Ooh, I think it's a quiet one for me.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Listen, it's first time in a while it's been a quiet one for me, all right? I'm not having it.
Yeah. I don't know, listeners are going to have to go and check the receipts on that one.
And by a while, I mean like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. You know,
so long.
You know what? I'm going to jump in and say something that I thought you might have brought up, and that's the South Wales derby on Saturday lunchtime.
Oh, yeah.
Swansea,
you know what?
Cardiff.
I'm not going to be here, that's why.
It's always spicy, it's always entertaining, and I did a bit of research. Swansea have won the 4 of the last 5, but Cardiff are the team in form. So, I don't know. I couldn't name you a player from either squad now. I'm so bad. Does Lee Trundle still play for?
I don't know. Does Charlie Austin play for Cardiff or something? I can't remember.
Gary Monk's still there?
Oh, cool. Aaron Ramsey plays for Cardiff.
Does he?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how you say his last name. Perry NG. Well, I don't know.
There is no way that guy's at Swansea City. Hang on.
You can't.
I've just typed in Swansea City and it's brought up one of their players. No way he's there. I want to just... Yannick Bolasie. He's not there, is he?
Surely not. Hang on.
No, he can't be.
Who knows? His career fell off a cliff when he left Crystal Palace.
Hang on. I'm just looking. I'm on their site. Bear with.
No, it came up on Google when I typed in Joe Allen's still there. Bloody hell.
Jesus, I thought he would have retired by now.
Bashir Humphries is there from Chelsea on loan. I can't remember that. What? Where did that happen?
Yeah, that was at the start of the season.
Bloody hell.
No one has spoke about him all season. So
Tell you who else
has gone well.
Who else is at Swansea? Is that I think he's from the Arsenal Academy, that Charlie Patino.
Yeah.
He's decent.
Wasn't he our books at some point?
Probably. Everyone else was.
Yeah, I've got to double check. So this listeners, you've got timestamps. Says you can skip ahead. I can't find Charlie Patino on there to click on. So yeah. Anyway, Chris, what are you looking forward to?
My daughter's playing up an age group this weekend. She's making her debut for the higher age team. So I'm quite looking forward to that. It'd be nice to go to a game as a parent, not as a coach. So I'm quite looking forward to that, just to be able to watch her play without thinking about anything else.
Is she a striker?
She is.
Well, hey, Chelsea have got Ramirez and Sam Kerr, so there we go. She's getting a caller. She's getting a call up.
Okie dokie. So I found it. Yannick Bolasie was at Swansea.
What? When?
He was for half the season, I think. And then he left in January. And I just don't know if he's gone anywhere else. He played 10 matches, no goals, no assists.
Oh, my word. I'm looking at a photo of him in a Swansea kit. I have no memory of this. What? This is like when they put players and go, do you remember when they had this weird loan spell? And you look and go, no.
I believe Yannick Bolasie we put in, oh yeah, remember him.
No, he was wasn't he was it Streets Won't Forget or?
Oh, he was definitely.
I think he was Streets Won't Forget, yeah.
Bloody hell. Oh, that's a throwback.
Yeah, he's currently without a club, I think.
Chelsea, there's your new man. Get him in.
There's your new winger.
Oh, right. Time to hit the news. It's that time of the week. We're going to check out news you may have missed in that elevator of Chelsea news. Chelsea have struck an agreement with Brentford to make Bernardo Cueva their new set-piece coach from the end of the season. Chelsea have held serious interest in Bayern Munich's Alphonso Davies. When Jamal Musiala joined Bayern, Chelsea inserted a sell-on clause worth 20%. Chelsea have held talks with Riyadh Air, along with other companies, about becoming the new front of shirt sponsor for the next season. Ben Chilwell's injury is still being described as the longest one. Chelsea's owners, Bowley and Igbali, want to recruit 2 or 3 of the world's best players under the age of 23 for every position. And finally, Kylian Mbappe has threatened legal action against a kebab shop owner for using his name in the description of one of their sandwiches. No, it was not kebape. Wasn't that. I've seen some people say it was that. It was not.
The fact that it wasn't that means that they weren't a very creative person, because that is a great name.
They literally just said that it's like Kylian Mbappe. That's what they put.
Oh, that, do you know what? You deserve to be sued for that.
I mean, I know that's not like a major news item, but stuff like that does piss me off because because I understand they're using his name without him agreeing to it, but it's a kebab shop. You know, they're not it's not a multinational corporation.
I mean,
and then you've got enough money, mate. Do you really need royalties from kebab sales?
I mean,
fucking hell.
Imagine if they
he just doesn't want to be associated with unhealthy food. But
I mean, imagine if they were like, "Oh, our food's like Chelsea, disappointing." Oh, nice. Go in there next week.
Our food's like Chelsea. It went cold 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything? I mean, the left back thing caught my attention, but is there anything else for I waffle on about that?
Yeah, that thing about Ben Chilwell seems like it was bullshit, because he was pictured in training today.
Yeah, pictured in training. I'll send
that's AI generated. That's AI generated, not real.
Yeah, it must be.
It's not. It's a deep fake. I
mean, so, I don't know. Like, I guess whoever did that news, maybe it was old news, maybe it was bullshit. I don't know, but clearly, I mean, he's on the plane to England, isn't he, for the international break as well? So he's been called up.
Well, if he's on the plane to England, that's why we have a lot of problems with you know when they say about pollution and everything. If he's on the plane from London to England,
damn right.
I mean, look, I mean, the left back situation needs a bit. It seems to be the club are doing something with the left back situation, especially with the scouting, because there's been a lot of links this week. I mean, the funny thing is, when you think about Chilwell and James, they kind of remind me of the SpongeBob SquarePants guy who's like, he's got glass bones and paper skin.
Yeah, every morning he breaks his legs.
Every morning they wake up, break their arms, and after every match, torn hamstrings. I mean, oh man, I don't know. I hate to say it, I do, but I kind of feel that if Chilwell keeps getting injuries, it might be worth looking at the future, because he doesn't seem to be getting better when he comes back.
I mean, but if you're looking at the news today, he's made a miraculous recovery.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, I mean, his performances haven't been great as well recently. He sort of reminds me of like Alonso in like his final seasons with us. Like, there's no, the pace is sort of.
He's not had like a a needle moving performance since like 2022, maybe 2021, something like that. And because he's had so many injuries.
Yeah.
You know, he's not been able to build up the form, and
I
mean, goes a long way into why we've been defensively so poor this season.
Yeah, I mean, Chilwell. You know what? Chilwell is another Jeep. He's great to look at, expensive and unreliable. I mean, Chris, is there any? Do we need a new left back long term?
I mean, possibly. The only thing that I would say is, I don't think the Chilwell getting injured thing would have been such a big deal if Cucurella hadn't also got injured at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cucurella, to be fair, has performed well when he's played this season. Like when he was playing at right back as well, he did a good job. And I just think maybe there is a player in there, rather than spending loads more money on somebody else who, let's face it, with our track record, will probably either be injured or rubbish. So it's because I mean, I know the Alphonso Davies links, and
that won't happen.
Oh, don't even start.
He'll go to Real Madrid if anyone.
Don't piss me off, because it's never going to happen. What? Don't get people's hopes up, man. Don't do it.
But even with Davis, he's had injuries as well.
He's perfect.
I wouldn't bank on him coming in and playing every game either. I think maybe you just swap it round, and if Cucurella stays fit, then maybe we give him a full season as the starting left back, and Chilwell can be the backup player who, if he's picking up injuries every now and again, it's not such a big deal.
Is there something to be said about maybe giving one of the academy kids a run out? Because we got Dylan Williams, who was really highly thought of at Derby. You've got Isha Samuel Smith as well, who can play left back. Both have been very, very good in the academy this season.
The thing is, the most stupid thing about this is our best left back's at Newcastle.
Oh no, he's in Dortmund. He's in Dortmund for me.
No,
I think that's an overhaul.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can judge that though, because Lewis Hall actually performed for Chelsea in the Premier League. Maatsen didn't.
It's a very convincing argument. It's very compelling. I think we do need a new left back personally. Whether it's from the academy or whether we dip into the market for it, I think we need one, because you can't rely on Chilwell and Cucurella most of the time as a liability. So, but
I think there are clubs in the league that are showing that you can get by without an £80 million fullback. Like you look at like what Liverpool are doing. They've been playing Joe Gomez there, for Christ's sake, and they're doing all right. Man City haven't got a left back, and they do all right. So it's not one of them. I'd be all for getting a new left back, but I wouldn't be for spending like 60 million on one again.
Nah, do you know what? I only want us to buy a left back from the market if he's between 30 and 40 million pounds and from France. That's it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's do that.
Oh man! Right, on the topic of defensive players, for much of this season, Pochettino could credibly argue that his Chelsea team are better, especially by the metrics, than their Premier League position suggests. But there's a basic number that makes for a bit of ugly reading. And today we're going to take a look into Chelsea's defensive struggles under Poch. And maybe we'll find a solution. He won't listen to this show, but if he does, send it him. But the statistics that I saw painted a bit of a worrying picture for us. I mean, despite obviously we've had promising signs that, we're getting somewhere, but it's the defensive record. It's just cause for concern. I mean, 26 league games have been played. We've conceded 43. That's putting us on track for our worst defensive performance in the Premier League era. And we'll try to answer as to why we've sucked so bad in just 4 questions. So the first one, I guess, is what are the alarming defensive stats plaguing Chelsea? As I said, is it 26 or is it 26? I wrote 26 down, but I feel like we've played
26.
It's because the Spurs game got cancelled, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the Arsenal game was postponed.
Yeah,
that's right. That's fair. Apparently, no, we've played 27, so Newcastle, whatever. We still conceded in that. So,
because of Monday. Yeah.
So that would be 45 goals conceded in 27. So yeah, we're on track for that awful record, and I mean, it's just that in itself is ridiculous that we have conceded 45 goals. I mean, Everton are down the bottom and they haven't conceded that many. I mean, react to that first.
Well, it's not good. I do think it's hard to pinpoint one thing though. I think that's been one of the main problems. Is a lot of our defenders have made individual mistakes, which you can't really legislate for. I mean, we've conceded a lot of goals this year that have been down to just one individual making some stupid mistake. And you can't really do anything about that as a team or as a manager, really. Players are going to make mistakes. You just hope that you try and nullify it as much as you can. I don't think Poch has helped by swapping and changing as much at the back. I've always believed defensively, you need pretty much the same 4 every week, probably 5 if you include the goalkeeper, to be playing every week so they can get a relationship and a chemistry together, and that helps. And we haven't really had that. Even injuries have played a part in that, obviously, but also Poch has just liked swapping and changing for no reason.
Yeah.
We've had so many different centre back pairings that I'm surprised we haven't conceded more goals because no one knows what anyone else is going to do. So it's so
like you
many
say, Chris,
different things
like you
that
say, Chris,
build up
nobody
to it.
you can't expect people to know what each other are necessarily going to do because they're constantly chopping and changing. And especially, I think a big part of it personally for me is injuries as well. Like we've got one. I think Thiago Silva at times has been injured. Badiashiel's been injured. Fofana's been injured all season. Chalobah was out for about 7 months. Reece James has been out forever. Like Chilwell's been out as well. Cucurella's been out. Like we haven't had a settled back line all season. And that has to go some way to looking at why we're conceding goals. But I also think it's because I don't think we've necessarily had a settled midfield either. Because, and for me, the midfield is still too permeable. We're still letting too many chances go straight through us in midfield, and it's leaving the back four pretty exposed.
I am so glad
no matter who's
you
playing.
Brought them up. I mean, question 2: how does Poch and his tactical approach contribute to this? Our vulnerabilities in that defensive line. I mean, I kind of feel that, you watch it, Pochettino favours that high pressing 4-2-3-1. We all know that. And then it becomes the 4-2-4 out of the possession. And yes, we've seen it is very effective at pressing the opponent. It's bloody good. But this strategy, obviously, then, as you said, it leaves that midfield exposed when then that pressure's sort of bypassed, and then we've got those defensive lapses we so often see. How many times do we think of Spurs straight away? I'm thinking of Spurs. Our midfield was overrun whenever we conceded the ball, and the swift counterattacks they scored from one. They bloody scored from one. I mean, what are your thoughts on the tactic side of it?
To be honest, I think Poch coming in knew that one of our biggest problems was scoring goals. And I think he's purposely sacrificed defensive solidity to get us to score more. And I don't think anyone ever looks at that. Like, he has improved us going forward so much this season. I know we still miss a lot of chances, but every game, you don't look at us and think we're not going to score today. We always look like a team who can score a goal. And I think part of that is down to the fact that he has sacrificed being as defensively solid as other managers have. Because I think a lot of the other managers in previous years have gone the other way. And I think they've thought, well, we haven't got loads of goal scorers, so we can't really concede.
Yeah, I
think Poch has done the opposite, and I think he's just gone with let's try and get everyone scoring. And to do that, to be fair, there is a trade-off. You have to throw more bodies forward, and you are more prone to counter-attacks.
Yeah, we've scored 47 this season in 27 games. Last season, 38 games, obviously, 38 goals. A goal per game is pretty pathetic.
Yeah, well, last year we was absolutely awful.
Yeah, I mean, we do struggle against back post crosses. That's another thing I've noticed as well tactically. I mean, that's probably why we've got a set piece expert coming in. I mean, I don't know whether that's for attacking or for both defensive as well, but it's like...
I do wonder if how much of it is down to tactics and how much of it is down to like individual duels and stuff. Especially when you talk about the back post, Mikey, because our team's pretty short. You need about 5 headers, like decent headers of the ball in the team, and it's probably why Colwell was playing left back a lot. It's because he's tall enough.
Shout.
And oftentimes we don't actually field that many players who can head the ball like as well as a lot of other teams. And you look at like City and Arsenal and Liverpool and stuff, all over the pitch. They've got height and they've got aggression that they can use defensively and offensively at set pieces. I'm not saying, and specifically, I'm going to talk about Gusto here. Although I think he's had a fantastic season, he gets caught out of the back post a lot because he's not as tall. He got caught out. I think he was against Newcastle. He got caught out the back post. There's an element in terms of the squad building aspect of it as well. Like, have we actually constructed the best squad to succeed in terms of the physicality of the game and what is needed for a manager to succeed? I don't think we have. And to a certain degree, I feel that means that Pochettino is trying his best with what he's got. I don't think he's doing that well, but he's trying his best.
I just pulled up Malo Gusto's wiki page. He's 5'10", but it says for Chelsea he's made 540 appearances.
Yeah, for Chelsea,
I've been editing that. Go on, Chris.
Because you are right though, Ollie. Because I think if you look at the best teams in the league at the minute, in Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, they all have tall fullbacks. I mean, aside from Liverpool when Trent plays, who isn't very good in the air, the rest
and
of
he's
their
in midfield
backline,
most of the time these days anyway.
Yeah, the rest of their backline is good in the air. You know, they've had Joe Gomez at left back, who's a centre back, and even when they have Andy Robertson there, he's actually pretty good in the air. And then you look at Man City, they have Ake and Walker, who are both good in the air and over 6 foot. And then Arsenal have Ben White, who was a centre back.
And Kivior on the other side.
And Kivior, who again can play centre back. So I do think it's gone that way now, whereas we've got more traditional fullbacks. Like if you look at Gusto and Cucurella, they are more traditional fullbacks. You'd never ever play them centre half. So that is why you are going to struggle against that. I think the key is where we let ourselves down is everyone knows that that's going to be a problem, and the opposition know that it's a weakness. But we never stop crosses. We never have anyone closing the ball down in wide areas. We allow crosses to come into our box so easily because our wingers, a lot of the time, although they'll come back to defend, they stand so far off the player that they allow a free cross into the box, and we give away far too many silly free kicks around the edge of the box.
Oh, that's a certain. I mean, look, the next point is how have the injuries impacted our stability with consistency? I mean, obviously, some listeners, you may be aware that other than Liverpool, there is another team who are struggling with an injury crisis this season. I mean, injuries have disrupted our lineup. I mean, I found this is an interesting stat for you. Pochettino has fielded 13 different backline combinations in 27 games.
Jesus,
that's quite. I mean, that lack of consistency is clearly impacting us. I mean,
look at Arsenal as a really good example. All this season and last season, they've had more or less the same back 4 or 5. I know they've got Raya in now instead of Ramsdale, but the Saliba and Gabriel, like that's 2 centre backs who have basically played 2 seasons in a row, more or less every game together.
100%.
And if we could do that, we'd probably be in a better position as well.
I mean, all that consistency, lack of it, you got the communication at the back, that goes missing because obviously, you kind of need a structure and you sort of need to know one another, like you just touched on with Arsenal. They know each other, they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, they know how to help the other out. We don't have that because you never know who you're going to field in that back 4, back 3, whatever, And as well, you have to look at our midfield because those injuries have forced Poch to obviously play less experienced players in the important roles, and that again has midfield stability. That's compromised as well as the defensive one. And then you start to see, when you watch us, you can sort of see gaps and lapses in our awareness and in coverage of, and our opponents just know this. They know that, like you said, Colwill at left back, you're like, oh, hang on. Oh, he's not going to be doing this. He's not going to be doing that like Chilwell would and Cucurella and
the thing is, to answer this whole topic of why have we been so bad at the back, if you wanted to pinpoint it on something, if you had to pick one thing, I would pick the injuries.
Yes,
because if you don't have that consistency in your back line, you're never going to be successful. Every single successful team in history has had 2 centre halves who play together every week. All the most successful Chelsea teams have, Manchester City have, Liverpool have,
Man United.
Man United have, even Newcastle last season. The reason why they were so successful, their 2 centre halves played every game.
Yeah,
Botman and Shaw,
every game.
Yeah, played every game together. Arsenal now with Saliba and Gabriel, they're doing really well because they play every game together. And we just don't have that. We've had Silva and Badiashile, Silva and Colwill, Badiashile and Colwill,
Disassi and Chalobah.
You know what I mean? Like it's endless, and you just think you can't really judge these players either because they're playing with different people every week. So it's not really fair to be judging, like some people are asking, is Badiashile good enough? Is Disasi good enough? It's a bit unfair really to judge them until you see them with a consistent partner and then you know whether the pairing's good enough. It's the injuries have been the thing. Like we've been really unlucky with the fact that I don't think there's a single player in our backline who hasn't been injured this season.
Yeah, I mean that as well.
I think Disasi was, but I don't think he missed any games because of it.
I think he might be the only one, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing about like this injury crisis that I kind of feel that many just sort of missed. Maybe they just forget. It's the toll on the fitness levels of like the remaining players that have to. We've got less rotation options then. And then obviously as we keep saying players are playing too much in just general. So they're forced to take on more games. And that obviously fatigue means weaker performances. It's like trying to sprint a marathon. Eventually you're just going to hit the wall and that ain't pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back again to what you said, Chris, about, them not playing together and stuff. How many times this season at Chelsea have we said, looks like 11 strangers out there. Looks like 11 people out there who've never played together before. They're playing for the first time. It's because a lot of the time they are strangers playing together this season because they haven't played that much together before. Yeah, they play together in training and whatnot every week, and that will help a little bit. But there's nothing quite like having the match day experience of having someone alongside you who you know exactly what they're going to do at every moment. And it's probably a lot actually as well why Thiago Silva for so long was sort of like the linchpin, because he was good enough and old enough and experienced enough to recognize what was needed in each kind of scenario in defense, and so he had some games where he was really good, a couple where he wasn't as good, but like for most he was very adaptable and used his brain on the football pitch. And now it's kind of slowed down a bit for him with his legs and whatnot, and he's not doing as well, so he's not getting chosen as much. But I think that is probably a really good reason as to why he got picked as much as he did, is because he had that experience of playing with other kinds of players as well for being older. He knows what he's doing in that kind of regard. He knows, for example, someone like Badiashile, maybe he's got to hold his hand a bit, speak to him in French, get him to start pinging balls about. If Disasi, he wants to tell him to, shape up, stay central, but also get aggressive and meet the player, rush out into midfield if you can. Like, he's going to have the right instructions for his centre-back partner most of the time. And again, so now that he's not there, we're seeing those lapses in concentration still defensively, and that's probably why.
And I think we've definitely got worse since Silva hasn't been in the team for that reason.
I think we've got a bit worse defensively, but I think we've got a lot better offensively.
Yeah. But I do think we have missed him defensively, and I think because I don't really think, aside from the Man City game, I don't think we've seen anyone in that back line have an outstanding individual performance. And I think maybe? A lot. Going forward though, I think he gets a lot of plaudits for going forward than going backwards. So if we just talk about centre backs, I don't think, except for the Man City game, I don't think we've seen an outstanding individual performance. And I think sometimes when you look at it, yes, Disasi may have stood out as the best player. He might have had a really good game. But if he was playing next to Thiago Silva, did he have a really good game because Silva walked him through it? It's a bit like Liverpool now with Van Dijk. Everyone who plays next to him looks really good.
Yeah,
and you
fair,
think, what's happening here? And it's like, take Van Dijk out, that Kwanzaa looks shit because he doesn't know what he's doing. Or Konate wouldn't be the same player, or Matic wouldn't be the same, or whoever they play there. It's like, but these players look so comfortable because they've got someone next to them who can literally walk them through a game. And I think we've missed that with Silva, and I think that's why you've seen individual performances drop off, which obviously as a collective as well is going to have a bearing on the game.
Yeah. Okay. Fourth final question. What adjustments do you think Poch could make to improve this Chelsea defense? What do you think?
That's a really good question, because the answers probably make signings in the summer. But I mean, failing that, I mean, we're the set pieces and stuff in the department and the new stuff for that will help. I don't think it's necessarily a magic bullet like a lot of people a lot of people are saying it'll be, in order to sort of solve all of our set piece problems. Yes, Brentford were the best team at set pieces in the league, but at the same time, all their players are kind of bought for the same purpose. A lot of them for being tall and for winning those set pieces, winning headers at set pieces and stuff. Our players aren't as tall; they're not really built around that. So it'll have some improvement, I've no doubt, but I don't know if it will quite be this magic, suddenly everything's better again. I think to just to answer the question, to get a proper improvement, what Pochettino could do for me, maybe is change formation, 3 at the back, something like that. But if you have actual proper wing backs, that you're probably a bit more defensively solid, but but as a result, you are giving up going, attacking now. And we really need points on the board now for the rest of the season, because we've got I was thinking about this. I thought our running was pretty rough. Sorry, it was pretty easy. And then I looked at it, and like half the teams we're playing are above us. So, it's really important for us to be winning the games against like Villa and West Ham and stuff. Like teams who are Brighton, teams who are above us still for the rest of the season. And I don't know, maybe a back 3 could get us there. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if we really needed to shore up,
that's
maybe.
the thing. Yeah, I mean, I think a dedicated holding midfielder to have stability there would be helpful. And maybe, throw it back to Mourinho days, a deeper defensive line to cover against the counter-attacks, because that's where when you watch teams counter us, you can't tell me you're confident that we'll solve, that won't imment. What the fuck kind of words are that? And I don't know, made a word. End up in a goal scoring opportunity for that team. It's almost guaranteed. It's like 100% chance that they're going to get a shot on target. That's the problem, I think. If we need to stop the counter attacks. Imagine if we played this weekend. We've obviously got Leicester. Imagine if we played prime Premier League winning Leicester. We'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because Kante would absolutely dunk on our midfield heads.
I'd be more worried that Mahrez Tavardi counter-attack was screwed.
Yeah, Mahrez Tavardi, but 7-0. Also, like, I'm not even joking. That Leicester midfield, Drinkwater and Kante would dog walk Enzo and Caicedo.
I think many people forget. Don't think Chelsea Drinkwater. Think Leicester Drinkwater. Different breed. What a player! Wow.
Or if you have to think about Drinkwater in a Chelsea shirt, that one game against Stoke where he scored that good goal.
Great goal.
Yeah.
What an underrated goal.
I think it's catch-22 though, because I actually think if Poch was to go to a back 3, back 5, wherever you want to look at it, I think we would improve defensively, just down to sheer numbers more than anything.
Okay.
But I think we lose more games playing that than we do conceding the amount of goals that we do now.
That's the thing, and like you say, it's the business end of the season. You got to be getting points on the board.
Yeah,
because what people seem to forget is if you do that, you are going to create less chances going forward, and our forwards aren't clinical enough to score 3 goals off 3 chances. They need 6 chances to score 3 goals. So you have to give them enough chances to score enough goals to win a game, and I don't think going more defensive would work at this stage of the season.
Would it work in certain... I suppose not at this stage, because we haven't really played it all season. If we were doing like the odd game on and off all season at 3 at the back, I could see it, but I don't know. I think it's probably a bit, like you say, it's a bit late in the season to be switching up the formation. It's a big risk.
Yeah, right. I think what he has got to do now is, if players are fit, pick a back line and stick with it.
100%. Yes, 100%. Right, listeners, let us know what you think. What adjustments Poch could make to improve our defense. Would be we really do love when you contribute, because some of the stuff you've put forward of different questions over this season, genuinely, absolutely appreciate it, because it's been awesome to read. It really has. So we're going to move on. Right, so we move to Lion of the Week, and we've got Leicester City. Some Foxes are coming to the bridge for the FA Cup quarter-final. Who are you choosing?
Ooh, that's a good question. Is it weird that I'm weirdly unconfident about this game?
No, because we've
So
just
you're
come off a good
nervous.
performance, so it normally follows as shit. We'd normally follow with a shit one.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was like Newcastle was all right. I don't think it was a fabulous performance, but it was good enough. So maybe that means we'll do okay. I'm gonna go with someone who I think will play. Probably in the cam. I'm gonna go with Mykhailo Mudryk. Probably, deserves to play, certainly. Probably, and that means Pochettino will drop him. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
definitely.
The wheel says Cassaday, and he's cup tied. So no.
That is one of that is a fair reason for a respin.
Yeah, Chris, who you got?
I don't know. I'm nervous because everyone I've picked lately has actually ended up playing shit. So
I've got Malo Gusto.
Oh, that's an easy dub for
he
Mikey.
might not play. You never know.
Who's going to play instead? Doris the tea lady.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with. Let's go with Nicholas Jackson.
Ooh. Hopefully he'll score. I'll tell you what, we said about it on Tuesday. He's doing bloody well this season, and people are sort of they're forgetting it. They're not noticing it. He's going under the radar. He's really under that radar.
At the end of the season, people will be saying they're sorry, Nick Jackson.
I think it'll be looked.
Good, Ollie.
I think it'll be looked back on as, that was a good debut season.
I
really believe that.
Yeah, you know what? I think people are just just on Jackson for a minute. I think people are so used to Chelsea strikers coming in and just shitting the bed all over the place that even when one of them actually kind of started a little bit that way and has actually properly progressed on throughout the season and really become one of the best players in the team this season. Like we're almost like Chelsea fans, you just almost expect everything to go to shit with the striker. And it hasn't yet for Jackson. So we should enjoy it while we can.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. Right, Quaresma's questions. We got one this week, and that's on me. I put it up at 2:00 this afternoon because we can't really put it up yesterday. So I thought just do it because it was too much on the feed. So
thank you to the loyal Discorder who answered this because on short notice.
Yes, that's true. So 2 questions because I've got another one. So thank you, Ollie, for that. I felt like I felt really stupid then because I wrote it in the book. I haven't wrote it in the script. So we'll do the fun one. Actually, Ollie, you've got it on your screen. Have you got it on the screen from the Discord?
I haven't actually.
I haven't got Discord loaded yet.
Leave it to me. Talk about something nonsense while I go and find it.
Oh well.
Do you know what? Anyone would think we was disorganized.
No, never. We're not doing that.
We might be the most professional podcast,
Yeah, I found it. What do we think about Antonee Robinson at left back? I feel like he could be in that sweet spot in terms of price, rapid and a great defender. Offers less going forward than Chilwell, but more than Cuckoo. Obviously, Matson's coming back and could still be integrated if we have a new manager. That's from the Ryan King. I love that name. I've never said it aloud before. I love that. Brilliant. So what do we think?
Savannah.
Matson's still being sold. He's still
the guy from Fulham.
Is it Fulham? Yeah, he is from Fulham.
Yeah.
Oh, then no.
Chris is like, keep that shit out of my club.
Wasn't he linked with Bayern?
Yeah, he's decent.
Yeah,
apparently.
but Bayern also signed Eric Dyer.
And he's been good for them, sort of.
Has he?
He's been all right. For 4 million, it's hard to go wrong, isn't it? But I like Robinson as a player personally. He's decent. He wouldn't be my first choice as a left back to
he's
buy.
Not an improvement.
He's too old. He's 26.
I would quite like Ryan Aït-Nouri from Wolves. He would be my pick. And funnily enough, I think I mentioned him on someone we should buy ages ago on this show. I
think you did.
And now it seems like we're finally getting linked with him. So Joe Shields, if you're listening, hit me up.
He's 22, which isn't too bad, I guess. But he's
in the policy.
He's in the policy. Yes. Well, yeah, but he turns 23 in June.
That's all right. He's still 2 years off the policy.
Sign him in, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh man. Right. And finally, Josh has asked, what are your favourite places or cities in the USA? I've got some. I'll let you go, but I've got some.
Last year I went to Washington DC, and I loved it. I really, really like. Cause I'm a big politics nerd, and I like seeing all the interesting stuff and the history and things like that. Great city as well. Walked all the way around it more or less. You know, got to see Arlington National Cemetery. You know, saw the Pentagon. Saw all sorts of stuff. The Lincoln Memorial, Washington Monument, all the museums. It's a great place. If you are going to go anywhere for a few days in the USA, I would recommend DC.
Oh, fair play, fair play. I've got my little list. I mean, I haven't been like your fortunate self to the USA yet, but when I do, everyone knows it's coming. Seattle is on that list, of course it is. But
like he really loves the Space Needle.
I really bloody love that needle. I've got some others. I've got Big Sur in California. I've got Lake Candlewood in Connecticut, especially during the fall. That's just beautiful. Google it; it's beautiful. And if you've got any listeners who are from Montana, your entire state, because that place is just beautiful. Every photo I see of Montana is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's proper God's country, isn't it? It looks so good.
Wow, Chris, any places? Any places or cities, states?
Yeah. I mean, I went to New York when I was a kid. That was incredible. I think everyone knows about New York though. So my other place would be Salt Lake City.
Oh, nice.
I worked out there for a little bit.
Wow.
Oh, a little humble flex in there.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
that is a flex and a half.
Chris is actually a Mormon, by the way, ladies.
It's a really beautiful place, and not somewhere that's spoke about that much. Like it's not like a really touristy place, is it? So it's it's really nice out there. I found it really peaceful when I was out there.
Yeah, I think that's always what's nice. That's kind of like I look at like Montana and any like Arizona. You know, you got all the open, the desert. It's surprising. I don't know. It's some beautiful natural architecture with the the canyons. It's quite beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
So he's not here today, so he can't win today. But it is time for Learn Army Carousel.
Whenever I'm playing this game against Chris, I always feel like I'm playing against my dad.
Hey, you'll be all right with this one.
Wow.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right with that. Right. This week's category is.
Can I just clarify before we start? I am not that old.
No, Chris isn't old. I'm just a baby of the group.
I've practiced this week. My pronunciation. This week, you know what? Now I'm doubting myself. I'm going to pronounce this wrong.
You shouldn't have said you were.
I know. I should have just played it. Is it?
Go on, Mikey. We're all waiting.
Jose?
For it
Is it Jose? Is it Jose or Jose Mourinho?
It's Jose.
Okay.
Jose.
I keep getting corrected, and I've now forgot which it is.
In fairness, though, both are acceptable.
Yeah, both are accepted in England. That's all right.
I'm just going to go with Mr. Mourinho. It's the category this week. Mr. Mourinho has worked with some of the finest footballers that have ever graced our game. And I just want you to name everybody who has scored 20 or more goals under his management. We're loaded. We've got 32 names. So there's a lot of names there. So Ollie, you got no excuses today.
Oh no. Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna let you kick it off because you clearly will struggle. Of course.
Oh, cheers. Okay, well I'll go with the obvious one. Cristiano Ronaldo.
He is actually on there. He is, yeah.
Really?
Yes, he is.
Oddly enough.
He just got in. He just got in there.
How many goals did he get?
I don't fucking know.
Can I just clarify before I give an answer? You mean they scored 20 goals under Mourinho, not 20 goals in a season under
No,
Mourinho,
yeah. They scored over 20 goals for him.
Okay. Yeah. Drogba.
Yes.
Surely
Surely he scored 20 in a season. Oh no, it wasn't really that
Benzema.
He's on there. They both are, just for the record.
Lampard.
Frank's on there.
Harry Kane.
He's on there as well.
Oh, good shout. Yeah. Son.
Oh no. Oh yes, sorry. I've got the wrong.
Come on, he must have done.
He is. Yes, I was reading it wrong. There you go. Yes, Ollie.
Thought I'd got away with it there. Eden Hazard.
He's on there as well.
Nice. Tammy Abraham.
Yes.
Diego Costa.
Oh,
Yes. By the way, Ronaldo scored 168 goals under him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
just a few then.
Yeah, the nearest
That's a
to
few
him,
more than 20.
The nearest to him was Drogba on 73. So there you go. He's done all right.
I'll take a bit of a risk here, I think.
Oh.
Sammy Eto'o.
Yes.
I'm taking a risk here myself. Zlatan.
Yes. Third most, 58.
Wow.
Not a risk then.
No, I wouldn't have put him that high. Robin.
Mr. Iron Robin. No.
Yeah.
No, you're out. You're out.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Wow. Okay.
I
He's because he spent most of his time injured.
Yeah.
I had a few more in the old brain before. Lukaku.
Yes, Romelu is on there.
Lukaku.
And then after that, I would guess John Terry, but only because he was the highest scoring defender of all time. After that,
yes, Rashford's on there as well.
I completely forgot about Mourinho at Man United.
That's fair.
It's
his greatest achievement, finishing second.
Willian?
No.
What about nah, he's not going to be, is he? Because he wasn't.
You're already out. You might as well go for it.
Diego Milito.
Yes.
Oscar?
Yes.
Mata? No, wait, no, he wasn't there. Never mind.
No. Some real good names on here.
Yeah, it's just difficult, isn't it? Kaka?
Yes. My man. Yes, he's on there.
Ozil?
Yes.
I'm trying to think who else was at like Man United when he was there.
There is. Oh, hang on. Let me just double check. There is technically 3 Man United players on here left.
Oh, Pogba.
Yes, Pogba's on there.
He was very good under Mourinho.
Technically. Yeah.
Juan Mata?
No, it's already been said as well. I think you
That's
said
worse
it.
than me.
I think you said it.
I didn't say Mata.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not. Okay, I'll put you at your misery.
Yeah, go on.
Angel Di Maria.
I was about to say him. Di Maria.
And Anthony Martial.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. This is where the Porto comes in. Benny McCarthy even. Deco.
Yeah.
Do you remember the other goal scoring striker he had that was helping them win the Champions League? I remember this guy, and I did write it down when I was like, let me see if I can guess them. Durley.
No,
I always remember him because he's the one player. Everyone goes, who? Who's he?
Yeah,
I don't remember him at all.
Oh, Gonzalo Higuain. Another Porto player was Helder Postiga.
Who did he play? Where did he play for Higuain? Where did Higuain play under Mourinho?
Real Madrid.
Fair enough.
Jesse Lingard, Joe Cole, Jose Calderon, Lorenzo Pellegrini.
I was going to say Joe Cole as well. And I was going to say Pellegrini.
Balotelli and Dybala.
Balotelli?
Yeah, Balotelli got 21.
Wow, Dybala, good season at Roma then.
So that would have been Inter.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho knows how to coach a striker.
I mean, Durley got 56 for him, so
he really does know how to get the best out of his forwards. So
we really could. He should come back and just coach our forwards. That's what we need.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're curious, look at Durley outside of Porto, and he did all right at Dinamo Moscow. To be fair to him, but
as someone who was like not very old when Mourinho won the Champions League with Porto, Durley sounds like a made-up name.
He was the UEFA Cup top scorer in 02-03, so put some respect on that name.
Wow.
Right, listeners, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you, as always, for listening. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Monday to review the FA Cup and much more. So till then, that is us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.